Hey guys, it's Dinohunter here and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the over 20 actual families of snakes. So what do I mean by actual? Well, we'll get into that right now. So first thing I have to do is I have to correct a last video that I made in which I made a few mistakes and it was titled The Three Families of Snakes, Colubrids, Elapids, and Vipers. And as you can see, I added into the title, please read description in brackets, because I had to correct the mistakes in the description. And there are not three families, like I said in the last video, and I also included boas and pythons in the colubrid section, which we will see is wrong later. On top of this, boas and pythons are two separate families in themselves, so I actually included 5 snake families in a video titled 3 snake families, and there aren't even 5 or 3 families of snakes. We can even just look at the thumbnail, and right in the thumbnail, right there, a boa is not a colubrid, so the thumbnail was even wrong. So yeah, not great. But let's fix that now, and this is why I'm making this video. Now, let's look at why I said over 20 instead of giving a precise number. And this is because the amount of snake families are debated among scientists. I will feature 23 families in this video, but take the exact amount with a grain of salt. So let's talk about the Serpentes. And the Serpentes is the suborder that contains all of the 23 families that I will be talking about in this video. There are 2 infraorders within the Serpentes, and these are the Scoliocophidia and the Alethinophidia. First is the Scoliocophidia. The first of the 2 infraorders that we will be discussing in this video contains the 5 families. They are often called blind or thread snakes, and they are all fossorial. Fossorial means that an animal is adapted to burrowing, and therefore they usually live or spend a lot of time underground. Snakes in this family can usually be identified by their poor vision or blindness, and this is common among these snakes as, because they are often underground, good vision is not needed. So let's look at the 5 families in the Scoliocophidia. First is the Anomalipiridae, and the first family that we are discussing in this video is found in Central and South America. Many species of this snake only have a single tooth in the lower jaw, and they are all small snakes, averaging a length of around 30 centimeters. That's 12 inches, including the tail. Next are the Leptotyphlopidae, and snakes in this family are found in North and South America, Asia, and Africa. The smallest snake in the world, which is the Barbados thread snake, which you can see in the picture at the bottom, is in this family. It grows up to 10.4 centimeters, that's 4.1 inches at its maximum, while other snakes in this family rarely exceed 30 centimeters, that's 12 inches. Its cranium and upper jaw are both immobile. The upper jaw also has no teeth. Next is the Gerhopilidae, and snakes in this family can be found in parts of Asia, such as India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Thailand, the Philippines, Indonesia, and Papua New Guinea. They can be identified by their gland-like structures on their head scales, and it is believed that they originated in India in the Cretaceous period. At this time, India broke off from Madagascar and began to float towards Asia. When the collision between the two occurred, these snakes were able to spread throughout the rest of Asia. Next are the Xenotyphlopidae, and this family contains 2 species of snakes that are found on Madagascar that are often called Malagasy blind snakes. They can be identified by a huge, almost circular shield-like scale found at the front of their heads called a rostral shield. And you can see that very nicely on the picture in the bottom on the left. These snakes don't have any eyes, although it is thought that they once did have eyes but lost them over time. Next are the Typhlopidae, and snakes in this family are found in tropical and subtropical regions on every continent except for Antarctica, which doesn't have any tropical or subtropical regions, so they are not found there. They have teeth in their upper jaws, but their heads aren't very flexible, meaning that they can only eat very small prey, even for their size. These snakes have black spots in place of the eyes. These help them to sense light if they ever emerge out of the ground. Next let's talk about the Alethinophidia. The second and final group of snakes that we will be discussing today contains all of the other families that we have not already talked about. Most of these snakes live above the ground, and many families of snakes that you might have heard of are in this infraorder. So let's start with the Annelidae. This family only consists of a single species, the American pipe snake. It is also sometimes called the false coral snake because it mimics the coral snake, which is in the Elapidae, and we will talk about the Elapidae later. This snake has a pair of vestigial hind limbs, known as spurs. If something is vestigial, it means that a feature of an animal is still present, but it does not function, or in some cases, it is completely absent. This is because the animal is in the process of losing that feature through evolution, but it can still be found on the animal. So it could be said that these snakes have legs. And here's an example of vestigial hind limbs. Most snake families do have legs, which are vestigial hind limbs, but most snake species are in other families that don't have vestigial limbs at all. So therefore, the majority of snake families do have legs, but a lot of snake species do not have legs. Unlike the Scoliocophidia, which all lay eggs, meaning that they are oviparous, these snakes are ovoviviparous. This means that they keep the eggs inside of their body, and when the eggs hatch, the babies come out. So it is a mix of giving live birth and laying eggs. Next is the Tropidophiidae, and these snakes are found in the Americas, ranging from Mexico to parts of South America like Brazil. They can also be found in the Caribbean islands. These snakes are viviparous, meaning that they give birth to live young, and they spend a lot of time burrowing, but are also sometimes arboreal. That means that they spend time or live in trees. They have the ability to change color from light to dark, and when they are threatened, they can curl up into a ball, or they can also voluntarily bleed from their eyes, mouth, and nose. What a defense! Next are the Europeltidae, and these snakes are commonly called shield-tailed snakes and are found in India and Sri Lanka. They are fossorial, meaning that they spend a lot of time underground, if you forgot, and like many of the other fossorial snakes that we have discussed, they have reduced eyes. They are ovoviviparous and they don't have any vestigial hind limbs, but, like the name suggests, they have a shield-like structure at the end of their tails. Next is the Anemochiliidae, and this is a family that contains 3 species of dwarf pipe snakes from Malaysia and the islands of Sumatra and Borneo. They're relatively small, with the largest growing to around 509 millimeters, that's 20 inches. We don't know much about them, but we can assume that they are fossorial because of their features, which are similar to other fossorial snakes. They do have vestigial hind limbs, which, as we said, technically are legs. Next are the Cylindrophiidae, and this family contains the Asian pipe snakes, which are found throughout southern Asia and on the nearby islands. They get their name from their cylindrical bodies, and they have bright colored bands going down their bodies, which they use in defensive displays. They do have vestigial hind limbs and are semi-fossorial, so they have more developed eyes because they are not fully fossorial, so they will still need to see to some extent. The next few families are often debated by scientists. They are the Boidae, Calabariidae, Canduiidae, Gerinidae, Erisidae, and the Sanzoniidae. But all of these families are often grouped together under the family Boidae, with all of the rest being subfamilies. So for this video, we will count all of these in the Boidae as one family, but it is possible for this to change in the future. So here are the Boidae, and this is a family of snakes that are found mainly in the Americas, with some being found in Africa, Europe, Asia, and also some in the islands out in the Pacific. They do have vestigial hind limbs, and most are ovoviviparous. They kill their prey by constriction, and while we used to think that this stopped the prey from breathing and killed them, we now know that the pressure produced by constriction causes cardiac arrest, killing the prey. This family contains the heaviest snake in the world, the green anaconda, which you can see at the top over there. Next are the Pythonidae, and these snakes are the true pythons. They are found in Africa, Asia, and Australia, and they have recently established themselves in the Americas. This is mainly thanks to the Burmese python invasion. The longest snake in the world is in this family, the reticulated python, which is the snake at the bottom. Many of the Other well-known snakes with python in the name are also found in this family, like the bull python, carpet python, etc. Next are the Loxosimidae, and this family only contains one species, the Mexican python. As you can probably guess from the name, they are found in Mexico, as well as other parts of Central America. So it can technically be said that no pythons were found in the Americas before the invasion. Or you can say that there is a species of python that lives in the Americas. It is just not a member of the Pythonidae. Both arguments are perfectly reasonable. Next are the Xenopeltidae, and this family also contains a single species, the sunbeam snakes, which are found in Southeast Asia. These snakes do not have vestigial hind limbs, but they are very iridescent. Iridescence is the rainbow effect that is created when you look at certain objects at different angles or lighting. This is the effect that bubbles have, and you can see that effect in the picture at the bottom. Next are the Acrocordidae, and this family contains the elephant trunk snake, wart snake, and the file snake. They are found in Australia and tropical parts of Asia. They are fully aquatic and do not possess vestigial hind limbs, and of all the families that we will talk about after this will also not have vestigial hind limbs. Up to this point, almost all of the families we spoke about do have legs, but the majority of species fall into the families that are coming up, which is why we tend to think of snakes as not having legs, however small those legs might be, like we talked about at the beginning of this video when I was talking about snakes and their legs. Next are the Xenodermidae, and these snakes are found in Asia. The largest snake in this family is not longer than 80 centimeters, that's 31 inches, while the average size is around 55 centimeters, that's 22 inches. They are nocturnal and are usually found in moist forest habitats. One of the snakes in this family is the dragon snake, which is the snake at the bottom. It is semi-fossorial and gets its name from its scales, which make it look like a dragon. I mean, look at that. That is an unbelievable snake. Next are the Pariidae, and this family is found in Southeast Asia and India. They are fossorial, and many species feed on snails, and their jaws have adapted to this, with the jaw bones being asymmetrical, just like how snails are asymmetrical. Because of this, some snail cells have evolved to spiral in the opposite direction that they usually did, making it more difficult for these snakes to eat them, as their jaws are not designed for eating snails with shells that spiral in this direction. Next is the Viperidae, and this is the family of vipers. They are ovoviviparous, and they have potentially lethal venom that they can inject, which is, I'm pretty sure, the first family that has this, that we've covered today. Vipers' fangs are movable and can be folded back when they aren't in use. This is what allows vipers to have exceptionally long fangs. The snake with the longest fangs, the gaboon viper, is in this family. You can see that in the top left. They can also move the fangs forwards to bite and envenomate prey more easily. They are known for their lightning fast strikes, and the largest viper is the bushmaster, which can grow up to 4 meters. That's 13 feet, and that is the snake in the top right. Next are the Homolopsidae, and this is the family of Indo-Australian water snakes. All of the snakes in this family are mildly venomous, and they are the only snakes that are known to tear prey apart before eating it. Some species rip soft-shelled crabs up. They are known for having unusual characteristics, like firstly, tearing prey up before they're eating it, and also like the tentacle snake, which has tentacle-like appendages that are found on its snout. And you can see those appendages right there in the picture at the bottom. Next are the Colubridae, and this is also a similar situation to the Boidae, with some arguing that there are multiple families, while others, including me for this video, include all of these as subfamilies within the Colubridae. This is the largest family of snakes, containing over 200 genera, and now genera is the plural of genus, that are found on every continent except for Antarctica. The vast majority of these snakes are non-venomous, but some do have venom. If there is a snake that you know that we haven't yet talked about or are about to talk about, there is a good chance that it is in this family. Next are the Pseudospiridae, and this is a family of snakes that is found in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. One of the members of this family is the mole snake. It is ovoviviparous and it is found in Africa. There are also debates in this family, with some saying that some species in this family should be their own families. Next are the Lamprofeidae, and this is a diverse family of snakes that are found throughout Africa, Southern Europe, and Asia. But once again, there are debates about its members. This family does contain the African house snake as well as the stiletto snakes. Now, the stiletto snake is fossorial and venomous. One of its unique features is that it has relatively huge fangs that can protrude out of the mouth and strike you even while the snake's mouth is closed. So if you try to handle the snake and put it behind the head, it can still manage to bite you, so handling the snake is an absolute nightmare. And lastly are the Elapidae. This is the last family that we will be discussing in this video. The vast majority of the elapid members are venomous, and many can flare out their necks in a threat display like cobras, who are also in this family. It contains the drop-for-drop most venomous snake in the world, which is the Indian taipan on the bottom left, the longest venomous snake in the world, the king cobra, which can grow up to 5.85 meters, that's 19.2 feet, that's in the bottom on the middle, and the fastest and probably the scariest snake in the world, the black mamba, as well as many other famous venomous snakes. The black mamba is the one on the bottom right, by the way. And with that, it brings to end flip. And with that, it brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. It was a bit of a longer one today, many families to discuss. So I hope that you guys enjoyed, I hope that you learned something, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!